Welcome to a very cold and wet Daytona International Raceway here for the beginning of the ARCSOA World Elite Series World Championship preseason testing. Here we have 42 drivers that are the chartered drivers going up for the ARCSOA Elite Series crown here, ARCSOA Elite Series World Championship crown here. And this is the preseason testing site. So we're going to go through some of the teams today. Actually through every team today, and kind of get a basis on how they're looking so far. This is the final preseason testing session. We had a little bit on the road course earlier this week, and now we're doing some oval testing, so this should be very interesting to see what happens, because in only 2 weeks' time, we're at Road Atlanta. The first team we are going to look at is the Ford Performance Technology team here of DJ Curtis and Daniel Bouchard. This team is focused on reliability this year, as you can see, DJ Curtis has his Hooters scheme back. Of course, the American 700 winner. The last 2 times we've raced in Fontana, he's won it. Tied for the winningest driver in the American 700, along with Sean Perkins. Perkins will, of course, I believe, be a driver in the American 700 this season. DJ Curtis has looked very strong today, or throughout preseason testing. Daniel Bouchard has struggled a little bit in preseason testing. However, in this drafting practice, he's led this group of cars around here. I see Vince Freeze there, one of the Teslas, one of the Matthews Motorsports cars. I see one of the Hondas there. That looks like Eric Monaco, and Caitlin Tannehill in the 12 car this season. Of course, a lot of these drivers are because of the recent purchase by ARCSOA during the pandemic of a bunch of racing series. So ARCSOA has been very strong in buying lots and lots of racing series up, and are currently, that's why we see such a massive field for this World Championship event here as we get forward here. Daniel Bouchard looking pretty strong today. But hasn't been that strong during preseason testing. Here comes Zachary Fitzwater in the Vision Sports Honda out of the pits, driver of car number 31. Of course, Vision Sports has switched their numbers to 31 and 41. This team has very much struggled in preseason testing. They are not a top speed team here. They're focusing on Honda reliability, and they are expected to be quite strong here. Zachary Fitzwater is, of course, in the 31. So in the high attrition races where, let's say, there is a lot of cars that have a lot of reliability problems, Zachary Fitzwater will be a driver to watch, along with his teammate Eric Monaco. Monaco is in the middle of this pack here, and Eric Monaco has been very, has struggled with this car simply because it just isn't very quick compared to some of the other ones out here. The 41 car and the 31 car Honda, they focus more on what their road car models are, which are indestructible and quite nice to drive on the road, but not flashy in performance or through handling per se. They have a very, very nice, reliable, and aerodynamic car, but simply their engine and chassis departments need work. So it's going to be interesting to see how, once the mighty have fallen around this ARCSOA Elite Series, as you can tell that the 41 and 31 cars have been, of course, the Hondas have been one of the strongest in the past in ARCSOA. They haven't been so far this year, or even last year, they weren't exactly the strongest cars out there on the planet, or in the series there. I think they only won one race with Kenny Myatt, winning the Grand Prix of Road Atlanta last year. Eric Monaco and Zachary Fitzwater will have a long way to go before they're in contention for race wins. However, one team that has not been, who has made an opposite move ever since how they've normally run in ARCSOA, has been the Marlone team. The Marlone Exodia, the new model that Marlone has brought here, has been incredibly quick here with Gretchen Faust, who of course ran for the Silverspoon ARCSOA America team last year and was probably the black sheep of that team for a long time there. This team has power, it's fast, and it's reliable so far through preseason testing. going to be very interesting to see what they can do, because that team has never been a championship contender. In fact, it's been very hard for them to even be contending for race wins, and now they might be a consistent race-winning contending team. Marlone has been quite strong here with Gretchen Faust. Takumi Hirano in the other Marlone Exodia looks even faster than Faust this year. Takumi Hirano was the fastest car on the road courses, or on one of the road course sessions. Takumi Hirano was one of the fastest here across all the road course sessions, and the car looks strong on the ovals as well. Marlone could be a championship contender this year. Welcome back to ARCSOA, Ryan Matthews. You are a driver that has been in ARCSOA before, but hasn't been here long. Now he's driving his own team and the Matthews Motorsports car. Oh, there's a little accident in front of him. We got cars all over the place around him. Oh, that's his teammate Carter Fitzgerald there on the apron. That's unfortunate for the Matthews team, because they actually weren't looking too bad in this preseason testing session. This is their first incident, of course. Now they're starting to drive away there, so it just shows the durability of the Matthews cars, because I believe Carter Fitzgerald and Ryan Matthews are driving away from this incident, so good on them, even though those cars are war horses right there. I think that's Carter Fitzgerald. No, that is not Carter Fitzgerald. It's one of the Teslas in front there. But right there, Ryan Matthews, kind of in an accident here, but gotta give him credit. That car, despite being an in-house build, looks very, very strong today. And across preseason testing, watch this team going forward. Carter Fitzgerald is one of the many rookies here fighting this season. And actually, we're going to see how this accident took place. Looks like one of the Roy Inc. cars broke down in front of the field there, and that's how Carter Fitzgerald got involved here. But Carter Fitzgerald has been a pretty impressive rookie in the 60 car as well. Ooh, that was a big hit there by one of the Blameless cars there as well. One of the most impressive new teams on the grid right now is the Lycoya Motorsports cars of Bethany and Greg Woodard. This team was originally racing in short track racing all over the country, and now they are coming to the big time, well, when their series got bought out by the ARCSOA Elite Series. And I will say this, those Lycoyas are some of the nicest looking cars on the grid, and they are fast. They already are looking to be championship contenders. The Woodard siblings are very strong. Oh, Pericles grenaded a motor. What a shock there. We'll get to them in a bit. The Woodard Brigade with the Lycoya Motorsports cars here will be a team to watch. And actually, there's the other Lycoya back there. That's Greg Woodard in the 96 there, in the Nikon 96 car. Great to see them both on track. This team is fast. They're reliable. Kind of like the Matthews Motorsports cars, except with maybe a little less power. Of course, this was from another testing session, because Ryan Matthews' car is magically seemingly better right there. Very strong group of teams right there, and we'll get to the 27 car in a little bit here. Those BMWs, all three of these teams could be championship contenders there that are shown in this camera shot here. Greg Woodard is a young American racing star. Not much has changed for Bradley Automotive this year. Bradley Automotive looks pretty good. Same driver lineup, with Bobby Jones and Lance Calvin in the team. Lance Calvin, of course, was Rookie of the Year last year. Very solid driver Lance Calvin is, and the team looks pretty strong. Granted, they maybe lost their edge because of some of these new teams that are coming on that look really good, like Lycoya, Matthews, and I'll get to BMW in a bit here. And then there's a bunch of teams that look really strong this year, but can't deny that the Bradley Automotive cars are still a pretty decent team on the grid here. They will be one to watch. Bobby Jones is in the 29 car right now, as he was last year. A lot of concepts on this paint scheme. Some people really love it. Other people don't like this paint scheme, but it'll be interesting to see as the Mountain Dew car goes around the track. Of course, Pepsi is on the Lance Calvin car. Bobby Jones is a championship contender and driver. Probably should have won the American 700 last year with how fast he was. but that is a team that could be interesting to watch as time goes on. They should be in the running for a victory this year. Of course, there's 40 races this year, so they should be a driver to watch this year. Welcome MDR onto the grid. MDR is the Audi factory team this year, with drivers Ethan Kiterman and Sevar Ilkin on the grid here. Kiterman is, of course, a former ARCSOA Elite Series driver. I think showed up for a little while. Maybe did a full season a couple of years ago, but there's been so many drivers recently in ARCSOA, I can't keep track of them all. That's, of course, the European paint scheme that car will run. They have a special American paint scheme that they're going to run on the 52 this year. Ethan Kiterman, again, good driver, but this team is mainly a midfield team. The Audis don't look as strong as we thought they'd be this year, so watch out for the Audi brigade this year. They should be a force in the midfield, maybe a challenger for a winner here or there. Could be a definite contender for a victory, just here and there kind of things. Could be a very interesting thing coming up. And here is Ilkin in the 53 car here. Ilkin is, of course, a European from, I believe, the Baltic regions. I think maybe Russia, but could be the Baltic states. I will get back to you on that on the 53 car. But this team is very going to be a solid midfield team, I believe. Very solid midfield team. Watch them to be very consistent. Of course, they came from the European Touring Car Division, in which ARCSOA purchased, and you'll see some other very strong teams from the European Touring Car Division. I'm looking at you, Hadeland Sport. Team Thunder's on the grid from Ohio. Anthony Griffith is going to be the full-time driver of car number 4 from Sandusky, Ohio. Maybe heard of that place. That's kind of where the ARCSOA Hall of Fame is, even though we're not going to be racing there this year. Oh, it looks like Griffith's coming into the pits. The 44 car is another story, though. Yeah, the 44 car is going to be a rotating mass of drivers. I believe Kenny Myatt's going to be in it for a bit. Possibly Sean Perkins, both of which are Ohioans. Kenny Myatt is residing currently in, his family has a home in Castalia, Ohio, which is right near Sandusky. Sean Perkins is from White House, which is, I believe, an hour outside of Sandusky. So Team Thunder is a team to watch here. However, we don't know who is actually going to be in this car at Road Atlanta. It could be Perkins. Obviously, that would be a real big boost for them in the American 700 if they can get Sean Perkins in that team. But there comes Team Thunder around here. Cars look good midfield cars right now. Could be in the contention for some wins. But this new car is very, all the teams seem pretty even around here, except for the interesting bunch here, which we'll get to in a few minutes. But Team Thunder, watch out for them. Not sure who's in the 44 next week, but we will, or in 2 weeks, but we will see soon. Hopefully we'll get a word on who will be in that car. Anthony Griffith looks really good in the 4. And here comes the evil empire themselves, DNC, out of the pits. DNC, of course, absolutely dominated the championship last year, the Canadian-based Dominion and Caraway team, with Cody Lamas and Vince Freeze. The 48 car, the yellow 48 car, is going to be something to watch this year. I'm very interested to see how this team turns out, because they are fast. They've got the best drivers on the grid. Of course, Freeze won the championship 2 years ago. Lamas is the reigning champion. Even though it was a pandemic-shortened season, he probably was going to win it anyway. DNC looks incredibly quick once again, but maybe not perfect, to say the least. But they are catchable, but they look real strong. Really, really strong. However, their cars, like I did say, the Camaros aren't as strong as maybe some of the European teams on the grid right now. But that's a story for another day. Here is Vince Freeze out on the track now. He's changed his number from 5 to 88 this year because 5 has been taken by another team. And this will be very, very interesting to see, because these two drivers, they keep them around, but they don't like each other very much from what we've seen. We've seen them intentionally wreck each other. It's kind of a war in general, these two drivers are, and and if it weren't for a pandemic-shortened season last season, we might have seen some more fireworks happen if we would have gone to Daytona, even though Llamas basically locked up the championship. I believe these two drivers ended up 1-2 at the end of last year. Maybe not, though. I think somebody else, I think maybe Ryan Griffin got up there as well. DNC is going to be a fun team to watch, though, this year, especially considering the drivers hate each other. And if there's another team that really wants to be the evil empire, it is the Tesla team of MS Motorsports. This team has just actively ticked everybody off all of preseason with their antics. Tesla itself is a kind of, I don't want to say it, but arrogant brand where they think they're the future of all racing. Their electric-powered cars are essentially weighted down by ballast because of their cars, because they were originally going to run them incredibly underweight to the point where ARCSOA had to create a weight rule in order to prevent them from running their original cars at a third of the weight of everybody else. And so, yeah, Austin Sanders and Carroll Abbott are two drivers nobody knows anything about. There was even a rumor that, oh, there's one of the Minervinis going around in the back and one of the Nissans. We'll get to that bunch later. Probably with the rumors we've heard that Tesla somehow caused that. But, they are drivers that nobody's ever heard of. There's a weird rumor that they're robots. I mean, knowing Tesla, anything's possible. And here is Carroll Abbott's car. Oh, and to add to them being evil, their cars are kind of eyesores out there. Drivers don't like being around them because of the way the sun shines off on them. So, just in general, they don't like this team much. And to be fair, I don't blame them because they've been very arrogant through all of preseason testing. They've been reasonably quick, especially on the high-speed tracks, but yeah, I'm willing to see if this team doesn't get routinely booed in driver introductions. How Mid-Atlantic Motorsports got the Dodge Charger away from Silverspeed is beyond me, but somehow they did it, and they're looking pretty strong because of it. Mid-Atlantic Motorsports is a new team, commonly a short-track team with Caitlin Tannehill in the 12 car, doing pretty good things with that Dodge Charger. Like I said, no one really expected Dodge to back out on Silverspeed, their longtime partners, like they did, but, but that's kind of what happened to them. And it left Silverspeed finding somebody else. Tannehill looks pretty good. Here is Allison Holiday in the other Mid-Atlantic car. Pretty strong this driver is as well, so you just gotta watch these two drivers throughout the year because they don't look terrible right now. And for rookies and coming out of the Atlantic Short Track Cup, they're going to be drivers to watch, I think, this year. The all-female team here for Mid-Atlantic Motorsports. Here is a team that struggled all season. This is the Roy Inc. cars of Rich Roy and I forget who the other car. Oh, Asapo Islami. I'm going to mess up the pronunciation of that every race this year. I'll get on that, though. And the 14 car, pretty, well, the number's upside down on it. They might want to fix that. But the roof number is. But other than that, car's okay. This is the Mitsubishi this is a Mitsubishi team, but it has Porsche motors. So it has a Mitsubishi body and chassis, but a Porsche motor. And keep in mind, Team Thunder's running some Mitsubishis as well. So just keep that in mind. I think I said Tenair earlier, but Tenair was going to be things, and then Tenair backed out for Team Thunder. So Mitsubishi will be a team to watch. The Mitsubishi Porsche cars will be a team to watch. However, the Porsche engine really doesn't fit the motor on the cars, so they're kind of big, bulky, heavy cars. So watch the 14 and the 29 this year. They'll be an interesting team to watch. Midfield is probably what I'd expect from them. And here's a Slemmy. in the 29 car. Very bland-looking cars here. Number's right on this one, though. Rough number is, so I think it's just a problem on the 14 car. Apo Islami is very, seems to be really outperforming Rich Roy, which, considering Rich Roy was in contention for the American 700 last year, is an impressive feat. Welcome, Ferrari, back to the ARCSOA Elite Series grid. This is Noah Hart. Now, what Ferrari is doing is they're kind of fed up with Formula Omega and a specific Mercedes-led team destroying them everywhere they go. So they've decided to come to ARCSOA and build the dream team. They wanted the best crew chiefs, so they hired both of DNC's crew chiefs last year, and they tried to get them pay for the best lineup in the world, being making Noah Hart and Aiden Shepard the two highest paid drivers in ARCSOA Elite Series history. Noah Hart is, of course, former two-time ARCSOA Elite Series champion and ARCSOA Elite Series legend. And Noah Hart signed up for the full season, so good on him. Aiden Shepard has been basically, there was a little incident there, chronic underperformer his entire career. And, well, he still has never won an ARCSOA Elite Series race, and some often call him the driver number 2 of the group, meaning that they're going to sacrifice Aiden Shepard for Noah Hart every time they get out there. Ferrari insists that Aiden Shepard is an equal driver. Noah Hart insists that Aiden Shepard is a very strong opponent against him. And Aiden Shepard doesn't seem to think that he will be a number 2 driver that we know of. This team has also made a number of strategy blunders throughout preseason testing, in road course testing, and in the last test on the oval. 2 of their cars have run out of gas. What is that Marlon doing? Okay. Have run out of gas in the middle of testing, so interesting to see the Ferrari team need to get better team strategy calls here. And here is the Mentervini. Yes, that is a car. They have no factory support, and they've kind of built their own car. The Mentervini MARCO1. I'll say this, gotta give them effort for building their own car on their shoestring budget with their own motor and their own chassis. Yeah, this team's been really bad this year in preseason testing. Probably the slowest team all year. I feel bad for them because they are pretty strong. They are a fun team, and the fans love this team, but they are struggling. The 78 isn't on track right now with Mika Misaki, but Zolt Dormitory is a strong driver, just is loyal to Mentervini, so I'm expecting this team to not do terribly well, but at least they're going to have fun doing it. Oh no, here comes Misaki out of the pits right now back there behind Ryan Matthews. So congrats to Misaki for getting out of the pits, but this team is really struggling. Here is the Silver Speed Brigade of Ryan Griffin and Nick Pericles. Silver Speed, I don't know how Mid-Atlantic did it, like I said earlier, but they took the Dodge Charger from them. And with ARCSOA Elite Series rules this year, you can only have one maker per team, and so they had to go with Mercedes. Ryan Griffin looks really strong this year, but the car has kind of lacked this year, unlike their Formula Omega prowess. The team has been pretty strong, though, this year, driver-wise, but the car has lacked in terms of chassis grip. Power, this thing can blast down the straightaway faster than any other team on the schedule, or on the grid. But chassis grip-wise, they're having a little bit of trouble getting that engine to really work inside the car. And provided that Nick Pericles doesn't grenade the motor everywhere he goes, this team could be a solid race-winning contender if they can just get that chassis to just grip a little bit better with the heavy motor in it. But like I said, on some of these faster tracks, this team's going to be fast. Scary fast. And here comes the ARCSOA Americas, led by Austin and Ty Silverspoon, of course, Richard Silverspoon, their grandfather, bought the Team ARCSOA America, and they're using ancient GM products because no manufacturer would give them a factory-powered car. They, of course, wow. There's there's one of the Thunders. I think Anthony Griffith on the apron passing somebody. I think one of them's in a Saturn and the other's in a Pontiac. That'll be fun to watch this year. Seeing how this team will do. This team is terrible. This team is, they're with the Minervinis, and we'll get to the Blameless cars in a minute. This team sucks. And obviously their drivers, I mean, I can't get too critical of them because I had to remain unbiased, but a lot of people on the grid call them spoiled brats. Yeah, I don't blame them for thinking that at times. The big question about this ARCSOA America Silverspoon team is which Silverspoon brother is worse, Austin or Ty? It was clear when they had their own team last year that Gretchen Faust destroyed everybody that was in that team last year, and, well, it seems to be the case. The Tesla broke. It seems to me that now that they're on a team together, both the Silverspoon brothers, they're gonna be a race to see who is the worst of the two. Of course, Austin was a vehicular weapon last time around, and last time in ARCSOA, and Ty seemed to be a little better than him, but we'll see if that changes this year. And now, everyone, the car that will probably win the championship, the Catalan Sport. This is a European team that races the European racing the European Touring Car Championship. We're talking about the ARCSOA Plot and Dylan Speeds. Long drivers do a lot of time over in Europe and American. And then there's a grid Catalan. Probably the best driver right now on the team. Even though Hello, Blameless Racing, the other unsponsored team on the grid. This team was supposed to run Holdens this year. T-Motor lost them. I don't know what they're running now. Let me see what they are, because they're Buicks. Buicks. Yeah. Kai Dry and Chester Lester Wester are the two drivers of this team. And, we'll get to this in a second. We'll get to the 79 in a second. This team, if it's not Minervini or ARCSOA America, this team's going to be the worst. And here's the 79 car. If you notice on the roof, it says 78. They didn't realize Minervini had claimed that number. So they put black tape over the 8s, the section of the 8 on the car. They put black tape over it, and now it's a 9 on the side of the car. And this is how they're going to run it. Yeah. Shows how good of a team they are. The Nismo Sport team is rebranded into Nissan America team, the Nissan team. Sean Ard and Zayden Davidson are the team drivers this year. Cars look pretty good this year, but they are mainly a super speedway team, it looks like. This car very much set up for super speedways. They're going to be very strong on the super speedways, and their drivers tend to be super speedway experts. Zayden Davidson has been, and Sean Ard's been very quick on the super speedways as well. Here is Zayden Davidson right now. Only car that doesn't have roof numbers. These two, I don't believe, have them. And, well, Good on them. This team will be a dead cert on the high-speed tracks, but on the road courses, they might do okay. Expect this team to be fighting for wins, maybe on those higher speed tracks. What on earth is Pericles doing on the apron, passing the 29 car of the Roy Inc. car? That was a close call. And finally, the last team on the grid is the TRD team with Tyler Thaber, who is, I think, the oldest, if not the second oldest driver on the grid. I think he's around Noah Hart's age, approaching 50. Those guys are. Of course, Kenny Myatt will be the driver, will also be on the grid there, and I think Kenny Myatt's older than both of them, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. TRD's got a really good package. Very, very, very good package. And then there's the one driver that is Hadeland's chief rival for the championship so far, if preseason testing were to say anything. Ethan Moore. Ethan Moore's triumphant return out of the substance abuse protocol has been very strong here. He has passed enough substance abuse drug screenings and alcohol screenings, and is back in ARCSOA after going through the ARCSOA Elite Series substance abuse program. And Ethan Moore looks stronger than he's ever looked before. Ethan Moore is that good right now. Keeping up with Hadeland on a test-to-test basis. It's going to be interesting to see how these two, especially Moore's recovery efforts validate the him being on the grid. Moore was another one that was kind of like the Silverspoon Brothers, who were, there's an accident in front of Moore, and up there goes the bunch of cars there in the back there, but never mind that. Moore was another driver who was kind of like the Silverspoon Brothers, thought of as a spoiled brat, went to party in Vegas all the time. A lot of embarrassing pictures out there. He's said to have denounced that in his life. We'll see if he actually does, because if he does, if he has and stays on the straight and narrow, Ethan Moore will be a scary driver in the future here. The Indiana native will be. So with that, that is your ARCSOA Elite Series World Championship field this year. You'll see some one-off drivers attempt some races here and there throughout the series. It's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers will take on the massive 40-race schedule and see who will be crowned in Yas Marina as the world champion. We'll see you then.